Hello again, thanks for joining me. This is the US Futures Weekly Chart Analysis for the week ending 29th of July 2022. First chart, as always, is the US dollar index. The US dollar index closed a little lower this week. It's threatening to push lower, but it didn't really close considerably below the previous low. So at this point, we'll just say it's threatening to move lower. The important level below is here at 105, with a minor level just below that, and the really important level coming through here at about 101.5. Price moved lower this week on an increase in volume. We had weakness emerge 3 weeks ago up here, and in response price moved lower, and prices continued to drift lower again this week. Any ongoing weakness in this market will affect many of the other markets, as you'll see as we move along. I expect that the 105 will provide support at this point in time. The E-mini S&P 500 futures price is clearly broken out now above this little consolidation period that we had in here. I was expecting some decent resistance to be drawn out of this zone, but looking at the price action, there doesn't seem to be much supply drawn out whatsoever. That brings price up to this level now, and a breakout above this would actually be significant. You may find that there's some testing for supply next week, something like this, and being a weekly chart, if that happens in the first couple of days and price continues higher, then you might get a bar that closes more up like this, with it just popping its head above this level here. Once again, I expect there's going to be some supply drawn out of this zone, but there wasn't very much out of this zone, so this may have sold out as well and not be very much present at all. At this point, the market's pushed higher. It was the end of the month, so we'll see how the new month trades. But at this point, the market's looking at least positive. Next chart is the bonds, the 10-year futures. This is US Treasury 10-year futures. The important level had been the 120 level. Price has been moving up towards it for a while now, and it's pushed above it this week. It's not really a breakout, not in my book anyway. I want to see a breakout with a wider spread and increase in volume, and the market really zoom ahead, but it hasn't really. It's just popped its head above that level for a bit of a look. You can see volume was reduced this week, spread was reduced this week. Not convincing for me, not yet anyway. So we'll just wait and see. Price is threatening to break out. Here's the next level here, just below the 122.5, and the next level above that. I always said it was going to be significant if this market popped its head above 120, and it's done so at the moment. Let's just see if this will be a successful push above 120, or whether it's just a bit of a look. Copper price futures. Copper price futures have performed somewhat of a reversal. I've been debating whether I should make the reversal here and call it complete, or whether I should make it here and call it incomplete. It's a little bit of 50-50 on that at the moment. There was some buying in this bar, but it wasn't significant. This was at a little absorption bar here, and prices responded higher this week and pushed up to the highs of the range. At the minute, the market looks like it's definitely trading more positive than it has been. Right up here is where resistance is likely to be, and anything through here may turn out to be fluff. I don't expect anything too serious until here at 375, because this bar had relatively low volume on it, so there's not likely to be a lot of supply in it, and 375 and above may be a more significant area for price to push through. So that leaves the door open for a little bit of a push higher if the market's still strong next week. Gold price futures. Gold price futures saw significant buying on this bar 3 weeks ago. I pointed it out at the time. Last week saw a little shakeout here and then a push higher in response for the week. So that was another buying bar, and now price has confirmed that by pushing higher this week. It's a nice little setup, I like it. Here's where your more important level is, around the 1800. So price has got some room to move. I don't expect a huge amount of resistance within the range of this bar. So price can, given favourable trading conditions, push right up to this level next week or over the next week or two. Silver price futures haven't really traded the same as gold. There wasn't significant buying in here. There was some buying, but it wasn't as significant as the gold chart. Price just sat there on low volume the week after. There was a bit of a test for supply in the bottom of that bar, and perhaps an attempt to move higher that wasn't supported in the top of the bar. And for me, this bar pushing higher on a sharp increase in volume, slightly above average, is more in response to the move in gold, playing catch up rather than leading the market at all. It's not leading. Gold was leading. Silver's playing catch up. It's a stronger bar, but that's because of all the hype surrounding the silver market. So players have started to pile in a bit because it's silver and because it's silver. This is the first level of resistance you need to pay attention to, and then you've got this level here, maybe a little range like that. So price is pushed almost up to that first level. That's at 20.4 and a bit. Next chart's light crude, and you can see that price has really been trading in this zone for a while now. This week's bar was pretty much an inside bar, and as such didn't draw out a great deal of supply, and you can see that volume has reduced to the average level, and price has traded up this week. So it's a little absorption bar. So was the week previous, and in response to the week previous closing low, prices moved up this week. So I'll call this for being a little accumulation zone just in here. It's the lows of the range are important. A break below these lows would be significant. I don't think the market is ready to push higher yet. I think you might find price trade sideways between $90 and $100 for a little period of time now. Aussie dollar currency futures, they generally trade the inverse of the US dollar. The 70-cent level was always a significant level, and prices pushed higher over the last 2 weeks on slightly below average volume, and this is because it's trading the inverse of the US dollar, which has shown a bit of weakness and has pushed lower over the past 2 weeks, and in response the Aussie dollar has pushed higher. The spreads aren't particularly wide, and you can see the close off the high here. There's no fundamental reason why the Aussie dollar is moving higher. This is mostly in response to the weakness in the US dollar. And there may be a challenge towards the 70-cent level next week if the weakness continues on the US dollar. Finally, Bitcoin futures. Bitcoin futures have been trading in consolidation mode for the last week or so. You can see the consolidation is taking place here. Volume was quite high this week, so let's have a closer look at what actually happened. Now, price initially pushed lower below the close of the previous bar and has responded higher. This suggests that buying's come into the market. Price has pushed lower, the buyers have stepped up, and in response that's allowed the price to move higher because there would have been less sellers in the market after they were bought just below the close of the previous bar. Prices floated up and closed at the highs of the range. It's quite a good response really. You've had consolidation taking place for a while now, some buying and absorption taking place. You're 6 weeks into this sideways range. When it happened previously, price eventually failed. This time's looking more significant, and the 20,000 level has had previous support between 16,000 and 20,000. So it's a comfortable level at the moment. Price has done this accumulation on top of that zone. It looks like stronger buying has come into the market this week, and that's a positive overall. Back to the US dollar index finally. This is the most important chart out of the series for the most part. You can see that the weakness came in here. We pointed it out during that week, and the response lower. Price is pushing back towards this 105 level now. It's probably going to be an important level in the near term. Continuing weakness in this market will see the commodities and the currencies associated with it moving higher in response. So this may eventually be a significant move. At the moment it's interesting, it's not really significant quite at this point in time. A break below 105 would be significant, and probably see this level come into play, and a break below there would see this level more important. That's my lot for the week. Hope that was worthwhile. Thanks for your time. See ya.